Hello, I am Leslie Ruda Smith, 2022 President of the National Association of Realtors. We are pleased to present this two-part video series on the VA Home Loan Guarantee Program to help our members navigate the process and maximize its benefits for their clients. With me today is John Bell, Acting Executive Director of the Department of Veterans Affairs Loan Guarantee Service. In December, John and I had the privilege of testifying before Congress on the VA Home Loan Program. I was pleased to share our members' perspective on what's working and propose solutions to increase awareness of VA home loans for those who have bravely served our country. John, it is great to see you again. We are eager to hear your informed perspective on how realtors can help veteran and active duty clients make the best use of this program. Not only do you have the expertise of leading the VA Home Loan Guarantee Program, but you are also a Navy veteran and have used the VA home loans to purchase your own home. Is that right?
First of all, thank you, Leslie, for having me. But yes, that is correct. I've actually used the program 5 different times.
Wow.
So I have certainly had trials and tribulations through that time, and I am 100% glad that we are talking today on all of the improvements that VA has made so that we can make this a better program for veterans.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your service and for your leadership. And let's start with the big picture. What are the biggest advantages of VA home loans?
Well, first of all, you talk about no down payment, and I want to talk about no down payment from the eye of it's not that veterans can't compete and that they need the additional money as that down payment. Think of it as a financial decision that the veteran is making. So why would they use their own capital if VA is going to come in and allow them to go up to 100% of their home? So that no down payment helps them in making that financial choice. Competitive interest rates, in most cases, VA is the lowest interest rate for veterans. Controlled closing costs, where we only allow certain closing costs to be charged. No prepayment penalties, of course, and that's with almost any loan in this day and age. And then also no mortgage insurance. So while we have a funding fee, that funding fee is paid either upfront or in the loan, but it is not paid over time. And it certainly is for the cost of the home loan program to survive. So I think in looking at those different reasons, and there are much more that we'll talk about today, once they get into the loan, it's more important, remember from a VA perspective, it's more important for veterans to stay in homes as it ever was to put them in one to begin with. So our temporary financial hardship goals when veterans are going through that is to be able to know where they are at any given time, to let them know that we are there with servicers to help them walk them through those hardships. So you don't get that with other programs. So we try to take care of ourselves. The cost savings that we talked about before, it puts them in a better financial position. And most of that is for if we have proven that veterans' assets continue to go up and they have continued to save and they have that amount to put down. But we also know when they're moving into a home, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to have to buy window treatments. They're going to want to put furniture in the home. They're going to want to buy TVs or whatever. To have to finance those things over and above what the cost of getting into the home is, that's where the VA home loan program really makes sense for them.
Well, veterans clearly see these advantages as the VA home loan program has experienced record-breaking volume. Matter of fact, in the fiscal year 2020, the program served 1.25 million veterans. And then fiscal year 2021, that number rose to 1.44 million veterans. So John, let's talk about the buyers. One of the ways realtors can help put veteran buyers in a strong position is by assuring sellers that the deal will close. Can you share some stats with us about veteran buyers?
Sure. I think the most important stat is 80% of borrowers or veteran borrowers that start an application close, which is the highest out of any loan program out there. So once that veteran qualifies, the chance of them not closing becomes pretty slim. And as we talk about the appraisal and those kind of other facets that would go into the time frame between the bid being submitted and the loan closing, we'll talk through some of those things, and I think the picture will be clearer as to just the reduction of veterans that wouldn't proceed with the actual loan. From a borrower characteristic standpoint, you've got the average credit score for our veteran borrowers are 722, which is in line with conventional. Our average debt ratio is around 40%. Nearly a quarter of veterans make a down payment, even though it's not even required. One contributing factor to that is that while that down payment averages around $54,000, the average assets that a veteran has risen to greater than $40,000. So that's just the average. And then of course, we talked about the closing rate of once they start an application and proceeding with the closing. And while 41% of VA loans were to first-time home buyers, it's a lifetime benefit. They can reuse it over and over again. And we'll talk about a little bit later, probably, the advancement of veterans' ability to buy where they want to buy, not having to worry about the conforming loan limits. So I'm really interested in kind of exploring that new accomplishment over the past 3 years.
Great. Well, John, can you tell us some types of properties that veterans purchase using a VA home loan?
Of course, we've got detached single-family home, townhomes, residential income properties, duplexes, triplexes, even fourplexes, as long as they live in one of those units. Condominiums, they have to be accepted by VA. We do have a waiver process for that as well. They are able to utilize this for manufactured homes, proposed or under construction, as long as the property is complete at the time of the sale. There are more properties that they could buy than there's only a few, even geodesic and energy efficient homes. You know, they certainly have that opportunity to buy those as well. I think you pretty much think about it as if you can find a comparable, to value the property and it's safe and sound, veterans are pretty safe in being able to utilize the benefit.
That's great. Well, with home prices rising, how much can veterans borrow on VA loans?
So veterans with their full entitlement, there are no maximum loan limits anymore. So a veteran can take advantage of buying a $2 million property just as much as anyone else. The great thing is they get that guarantee behind them so that they don't have to put as much money down as, say, someone else that's using a different type of financing. Now, the one trick in the market is jumbo pricing, right? So they may have to pay a little more to utilize that advantage, but they're not paying anything more than what anyone else is paying for that same type of product. That's a really good point to hone in on. Veterans that sell their current home to pay off their guaranteed loan, it is important to know that they can even do back-to-back closings, and we do that quite often. Veterans with some entitlement that is charged to a previous loan may still be able to buy another property. And so we have that calculation on our website. So if you want to go and really look at that, it's difficult to really put into perspective unless you actually have, like, I'm going to buy a $300,000 property and I have a remaining entitlement of X. But we have calculators that can certainly help them figure those things out. And as well, the lender can help them figure that out too.
So, John, tell us the process of getting a VA loan.
The process of getting a VA loan is pretty much like any other loan. And that's the real misperception, is that this VA loan is this government program that makes you jump through all these hoops that you don't have to for conventional lending. And that's just not the case anymore. And I'll give you an example of this. When I came to VA, we had, it was an average of 26 days to issue eligibility. We issue eligibility now over 90% of the time in less than 24 hours. And 48 hours, we're up in the middle 90s. We've taken that off the table, as well as I also hear, of course, about appraisals and the differences in safe, sound, and sanitary for VA. But VA is just like other loan products because Fannie and Freddie, they have requirements on safe, sound, and sanitary as well. It's a matter of whether or not a veteran is going to move a family into a property that is going to suit them, and if they are going to have to spend a whole lot of money to get that property up to where they need to be able to live, then we are concerned because we have a responsibility to the veteran to make sure that they are able to stay in the loan.
Well, one of the most impressive aspects of the VA home loan program is the low delinquency rate. In addition to robust underwriting, the VA works closely with veterans and servicers on alternatives to foreclosure. However, we know foreclosures do occur and the VA acquires those properties. Does the VA list those acquired properties for sale?
The VA does, but before we get to that, real quick, I want to make sure that I highlight a couple of reasons why. So, one of the tenets of the program is we have what's called residual income. And what we do for a veteran is we look at all of their debts, not just the debts listed on the credit bureau, and determine how much money they have left at the end of the day. Because we're at that starting place, and we're the only loan product out there that does that, because we are putting them through or have those other characteristics that we're looking at, we're able to understand if financial difficulty does find our veterans when they're in that home, they're able to stave off those financial difficulties better. And so that's where you see our numbers have just been very strong in the default space. Now, you ask about whether or not they're listed. They are listed. We use a contractor to list our REOs for us. There's a website that you can go to find out more about those properties. I will say right now there are very few of them, in the country, just because, again, lack of inventory and also lack of defaults. But we certainly post them, and anyone can buy those properties. You do not have to be a veteran.
Good to know. Great information. Our members work with veteran buyers every single day. So, where can they get more information about VA guaranteed loans?
I would say call us at any time at 877-827-3702, 8 to 6. Go to va.gov, scroll down to housing assistance. At the middle of the page, it will get you to where you want to go. But I want to say one quick thing. We're one of the only agencies out there where when you call that number, we have an expert that's on the other line that's answering phones in less than 2 minutes and sometimes less than 1 minute. And there aren't many other agencies that can say the same thing. So we have a commitment to our veterans and to our stakeholders. Whether or not you're a realtor, whether or not you're a lender, appraiser, if you need questions answered about how to get a veteran into a loan, or a veteran needs a question answered about how to get into a loan, we want you to call. We also have started a new program with chatbot, so you can actually go on there and talk with us in different ways. So some exciting things that are coming out from our website and our ability to work with technology, where you don't have to just talk to a human unless you want to.
That's great. Thank you, John, for giving us an excellent deep dive into VA home loans. I hope you will all stay tuned for part 2, where John and I will be joined by realtor and veteran Mark Warlow to discuss challenges realtors have experienced with the VA home loan program and ways to overcome them. Thank you for joining us.